sick and twisted world of Joshlin Smith. Her mother has been charged with human trafficking and kidnapping.
This allegation, Chairperson, is very, very serious. And we can't be expected as political parties to sit here and continue with the business as usual.
Tempers flare in Parliament over a lack of action against the corruption-accused Speaker. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
Where is Joshlin? What happened to her after her mother allegedly sold her? We still do not know. Today, Joshlin's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Joshlin Apollos, and two other suspects, Stefano van Rijn and Pumza Sigaka, were charged with human trafficking and kidnapping in the Vredenburg Magistrates Court. Joshlin has been missing for 17 days after disappearing from her family home in Middelpos, Saldanha Bay. Outside the court, hundreds of people gathered wielding placards in support of justice for the missing girl.
Because at this stage, we do not have a child. Our ultimate goal is to find the child so that a closure can be done. And as we pray that, we still want to find that child alive. We make an appeal to everyone, every citizen, every person in this country.
The matter has been postponed to the 13th of March for the accused to make a bail application. Two people have been killed in taxi violence in Ekurhuleni.
The economic freedom fighters in Gauteng notes with serious concern the strike that escalated into an exchange of gunfire involving members of the Gauteng People's Taxi Association, CAPTA, and bus companies within the city of Ekurhuleni this morning, leaving numerous commuters stranded.
There was a tense standoff between traffic officials and taxi operators, resulting in a stop in taxi operations this morning. The Germiston taxi rank had been brought to a standstill following the withdrawal of services by certain taxi associations over the impounding of their vehicles. The impounding of vehicles has sparked outrage among taxi operators, leading to a collective decision to suspend services in protest. What is usually a bustling transport artery in the East Rand has been left deserted, while a few commuters desperate to get to their destinations had to be turned back.
When people of the area are corrupt, but you want to sit when the EFF members are doing their work. When EFF members are doing their work, you are quick to sit a house.
No, Chair, no, Chair, no, Chair. We cannot allow that, Chair. We cannot allow that, Chair.
Tensions flared in a programme committee meeting of Parliament this morning as opposition parties raised concerns that an ethics complaint against Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula will not receive immediate attention. Mapisa-Nqakula has been fingered in corruption during her tenure as Defence Minister for having allegedly received more than 2 million rand in tender kickbacks. Parliament's Joint Ethics Committee has not met at all this year and only met 6 times last year. That's prompted the DA and EFF to question how soon the committee will deal with their complaints against the Speaker. But the situation quickly denigrated when Acting Speaker Cedric Frolick said it's not for presiding officers to get involved in the work of the committee.
This is what you call a public trial, and we must not fall into a trap of doing that.
A frightening picture is emerging of Hammanskraal, one of a collapsing healthcare system and poor water and sewer infrastructure.
Imagine you are in a hospital settings, you are unable to wash your hands. Just washing your hands.
There are a lot of diseases, there are a lot of contamination in the hospital. We all are going to get sick.
Residents are concerned that another cholera outbreak could occur due to little access to clean water in the community. Patients are frightened the Jubilee Hospital is collapsing and not up to helping them in times of need. Home Affairs Minister Aaron Matsoleri has escalated the battle over the termination of the Zimbabwean Exemption Permit, or ZEP program, to the country's apex court. Last year, the High Court in Pretoria declared as unconstitutional his decision to scrap the program, under which some 178,000 Zimbabwean nationals had been living and working in South Africa for more than a decade.
Home Affairs Minister Aaron Motsoaledi is fighting tooth and nail to try and salvage his decision to scrap the ZEP program. In refusing him leave to appeal, the High Court found that because the answering affidavit in the initial application was deposed to by the Home Affairs Director General and not Motsoaledi, who was the decision maker, it was in fact inadmissible. As a result, it found further that there was no admissible evidence before the court regarding what the minister had taken into consideration before making the decision. In the papers before the Constitutional Court, though, the Director General maintains that the High Court got it wrong and that it couldn't make such a finding on appeal when it hadn't expressly held as much in its first judgment and had in fact scrutinized the defences they'd raised therein. He also maintains that he's better positioned to depose to an affidavit in any case. Further, in its ruling, the High Court found, among others, that the termination of the ZEP program affected several established principles underpinning the best interests of the child, and that the minister had failed to consider this. The Director General also says this was an error. The High Court ultimately found the minister's decision was unreasonable, pointing to the requirement for an assessment of the nature of the competing interest involved and the impact of the decision on the lives and well-being of those affected. But the Director General argues that the rights of children do not trump all other fundamental rights, and further that the High Court incorrectly elevated the rights of children above all other fundamental rights. He's also vehement that this is in fact something that was considered, and that he stated as much under oath in the main application. Bernadette Wicks, Eyewitness News.
As more images emerge depicting widespread starvation, the International Court of Justice has acknowledged South Africa's urgent request for it to intervene in what it fears is an impending famine in Gaza. In an application filed with the ICJ yesterday, South Africa again says Israel is breaching the Genocide Convention, this time by starving Palestinians. South Africa is now asking the court to either indicate further provisional measures or to modify the original ones. Herman Mashaba, whose Action SA is contesting the national and provincial elections for the first time, insists he'll not get involved in the Israel-Palestine war.
I'm not going to be distracted right now to put out the fire in my house when the lives of my family it's at risk.
Staying with politics, Build One South Africa says it'll be submitting 140,000 signatures of registered voters to the IEC, which will ensure it contests nationally and in all provinces. Thanks for watching. See you for more tomorrow.
Eyewitness News. In touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.